You know, when we talk about India's special forces, a bunch of names get tossed around. SPG, NSG, Marcos. And look, they're all elite. They're all incredibly tough, but they are absolutely not the same thing. That confusion? Well, that's exactly what we're going to clear up right now.
So let's just get right into it. If they're all commandos, what really separates them? I mean, how is the person protecting the Prime Minister different from a team storming a building during a terror attack, or from soldiers operating deep in enemy territory? That's the puzzle we're here to solve.
And here's our game plan. We're going to break it down into 5 parts. First up, the Prime Minister's personal guardians, then the force that kicks down doors when terror strikes. After that, we'll hit the military's top operators on the sea, land, and in the air. We'll also see what it takes to even become one of these operators, and finally, a little field guide on how you can tell them apart.
Okay, let's start with maybe the most specialized, most focused unit of them all, the Special Protection Group, or SPG. Their mission is as singular as it gets.
This right here is the key to understanding them, the concept of the bubble. This isn't just about having bodyguards. It's about creating a completely controlled, sterilized zone around the Prime Minister. Their mandate is literally zero error, which gives them the power to override anyone, and I mean anyone, even local police chiefs, to keep that bubble secure.
And here's what makes them so unique organizationally. Their only mission is protecting the PM. That's it. They don't answer to the military, they don't answer to the Home Ministry, they report directly to the Cabinet Secretariat, which basically means they answer to the Prime Minister's own office. That structure ensures they have one and only one focus.
Okay, so we've just seen the ultimate in proactive protection. But what happens when prevention fails and an attack is already underway? Well, that's when a whole different force gets the call. The National Security Guard, the NSG.
So let's make this super clear. SPG is about protection. They are the shield, always on, always preventing an attack on one specific person. The NSG is about intervention. They are the sword, a reactive force that gets deployed only in the absolute worst-case scenarios, like the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. They aren't bodyguards, they're the nation's emergency response team. And when they move in, it's not chaos, it's a very clear, methodical process. First, the local police try to contain the situation. Then, the NSG, famously known as the Black Cats, deploy from their bases. They gather intel, they plan, and only then do they begin their assault to take down the threat. They are, without a doubt, the force of last resort.
Now, let's shift gears big time and talk about the military's special forces. Unlike the SPG or NSG, these guys are part of the armed forces, and each one is a master of its own domain, sea, land, or air.
First up, from the Indian Navy, we've got the Marcos. Their nickname is Magarmak, which means crocodiles, and honestly, it's the perfect name, considering they are absolute masters of amphibious warfare. From hunting pirates to underwater missions, if it's wet, it's their territory.
On land, the Indian Army fields the legendary Para SF. Their entire identity, their ethos, is captured in a single word: Balidan. It means sacrifice. And this isn't just a motto, it's literally the name of the insignia they have to earn. These are the guys you send deep behind enemy lines.
And watching over the skies, we have the Indian Air Force's Garud commandos. Their name comes from a divine eagle in Hindu mythology, which is fitting because their job is to protect critical air bases and, maybe most importantly, to rescue downed pilots from hostile territory. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Marcos own the sea. Para SF command the land, famous for their surgical strikes, and the Garud are the guardians of the air. 3 branches of the military, 3 very different battlegrounds. So, you might be wondering, what does it actually take to join these units? Well, it's not just about what they do. It's about the unbelievable, brutal process that forges them into who they are. Just look at this number, 72 weeks. That is nearly a year and a half. And that's not the whole training. That's just the basic training to become a Garud commando. It's the longest and one of the most punishing training programs for any special force in the entire country. And you can't just walk in off the street for most of these. They're what's called deputationist forces, meaning they take the absolute best volunteers from the regular military and police, and then they put them through trials that are infamous, like Hell's Week for the Marcos or a brutal 90-day probation for the Para SF. These things are designed to push a human being to their breaking point, and then past it.
All right, for our last section, let's have a little fun. Let's say you actually saw some of these operators out and about.
How could you tell who's who?
It really just comes down to knowing a few key visual clues. It's actually not as tricky as you might think once you know what to look for.
So here it is, your ultimate cheat sheet. The SPG are the easiest. They're the sharp dressers in the formal suits. The NSG are the black cats, so just look for the all-black tactical gear. Now the military forces get a little trickier because the Para SF, Marcos, and Garud all earn that same coveted maroon beret, so you've got to look closer at the insignia. See that Balidan badge? That's Para SF. A winged dagger? You're looking at a Marcos. And a winged eagle? That's a Garud.
And you've got to understand, that insignia carries so much weight. The Balidan badge isn't just a piece of metal, it's a symbol. It literally means sacrifice, and it tells the world that the person wearing it survived one of the toughest selection processes on the planet. It is truly a badge of honor.
So, that leaves us with one final big question to think about. We've seen 3 very different kinds of specializations today, right? You have the close quarters protection of the SPG, the domestic counter-terror mission of the NSG, and the wide-ranging military operations of the armed forces. As the world and the nature of conflict keep evolving, which of these elite skill sets do you think will be the most critical for the challenges that lie ahead?